The water fountain is working. Okay, so I was having a leak out of the bottom of this one. That leak appears to be fixed now. So, yay! I have the. I got to work on my placement of the rocks, but I have that nice water trickling noise over the rocks. Never mind this thing. That's just there to stop some gurgling right now. Oh, look at my little ferns and blueberries. Okay, so yeah, here's the other side of my guy, and the hoses and tubes are all hidden inside of these unistrut channels here. As you can see, there's hoses and tubes. So there's a pump and a float switch inside of here, which is sending it through one of these tubes up, and then I have a second tube here, which is hooked up to, this is my end of season drain line, so I can get all the water out of the system. Okay, now that is filled up by this box, and yes, the keen eyes of you will notice that this is CE rated, CSA rated. So inside of here I have a solenoid, and this is my 12-volt pump. So when the PLC says it's time to refill the fountain, the water is taken by that pump, and drilled some drainage holes on the side there, so it's never going to overflow or create a short. Okay, this is my my backup reservoir, which is actually just an old popcorn container. But inside of there, I have a float switch, high and low, and yeah, some more CSA approved splicing in the field there. This is all my mock-up. Then inside of here, this other CSA rated box that I have, I've got a pulse counter, and I've got a solenoid as well. So as you can see, the water, which is going to be coming in through here, and I'll show the rest in a second, but the water is going to come in, and it continues through that bottom hose, and it continues out, and that goes to my garden. My garden is out here, and I've got I've got a fill station in the bottom of my blueberries there. I've got a fill station for my jasmine down there. I've got my cactus is getting some filling. These bulbs are getting filling. I'm gonna have to take all this down for the winter, but you know, you get the idea. Eventually this is all gonna get repiped and replumbed to hide all of the hoses, and around the perimeter there's going to be some downlighting, also through unistrut that I'm going to paint black. Okay, so this is counting the pulses based on is there flow coming from my sprinkler timer. Now my sprinkler timer I have set up so that it's going to go every day at 9 o'clock, and it goes for about 15 minutes. So if this water level gets low and it notices it's not at the high level float there, then it's just going to top it up. Okay, then you'll see through all my mess of wires going everywhere, going to all these boxes. Whoa, and I'm dropping this. Okay. So this is the heart and soul of the operation here, and excuse my poor labeling right now, but basically I tell it if I want it to run. It'll tell me as well, is the main motor running, is the main reservoir okay, is the backup motor running, is the backup reservoir low or high. And I'm going to change the light colors later. This will tell me if it's filling the main tank, if it's filling the reservoir, and if it sees flow on the sprinkler line. If I want to reset it, I press that button, and this is a photocell, so when I get the lights running, then it's just going to work in darkness. And then dimmers here, I've got if I want to use the photocell, off or on, and then if I want the lights both or the pump to run, and then system off and on, and then this is a main power disconnect here. This is just plugged into the wall. Then on the inside Ooh, I won't be able to show you this without turning it off. Okay, well, I'm going to turn it off then. Okay, so inside of here, I have, this is my button area and assembly. I didn't have room for Panduit, so nothing is inside of the Panduit. I'm using a Click PLC there, and then I've got a 24 volt power supply and a 12 volt power supply. And then this is basically my junction area for all my devices, and so I've tried to have all of those pre-wired going up to the other side of my blocks there. And then what do we got up here? So we got a main breaker, we got the service disconnect, grounds, line, neutral, some fuses. Never mind this guy right now. I'm having trouble trying to get this guy going, but that's supposed to control voltage for my LED dimmer over here. And then I've got a series of relays up in the top left there, and those are all controlling different things, whether it be for the photocell, or it's just a way of isolating my inputs going to the PLC so that I'm not reliant on field voltage. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If I had to do it again, I would try and get some sort of like duct in there, some wire duct, but I didn't have that choice. So as you can see, everything is just, I've got sticky backs, and then everything is tie wrapped down to the sticky backs, and I tried to be as clean with it as I could, but obviously at a certain point it's just going to get away from you. I'm pretty proud of the door. I mean, I was able to keep the door cables in line. You can put your finger on any wire and trace it right back, but as soon as it gets into this main area, wires are grouped where they need to go, but they're no longer in line. It's really impossible to keep them in line. Yeah, so that's the nuts and bolts of this entire system. And you turn this on, you press the reset button in case it's been counting. It says the main reservoir is okay. Now I'll drain some water out of here so that you can see what happens when it goes to a low level. It's only really a trickle, right? So the water has turned off already, and I'm gonna just stop there. So what it does is it turns off the system, and it kind of waits for the water to catch up, thinking that maybe it's pumping faster than it can return. But if it turns out, like you can see, some water is splashing there. So if the system is actually losing water, that's where this backup pump and reservoir kind of comes into play, right? This is going to automatically top it off. So I have a counter timer. Right now I think I have it set for 3 times in 5 minutes. Can you hear that little pump working? So what it's doing here is it's putting water into the system. It's going to overflow. Why is it going to overflow? Well, apparently my oops. So apparently my my little float is stuck in the down position right now. I'll have to kind of dig that out. But there we go. So it tried to fill up the water. It has now overfilled the water. Okay, well, let's see what's happening in here. Oh, there we go. So something was touching the side of it, I think. Yeah, that's a structural Diet Coke can, by the way, if you're noticing. Okay, we'll put that down on there. That looks like it's not touching anything. No, should be good. Okay, now it has stopped again for some reason. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, so the pump is sucking it out and it's just going low here. So what this is going to do in this continued process of going low and pausing and going low and pausing, it increases a counter, and the counter is going to say, okay, look, this has happened X number of times in X amount of time. And we got to get this solved right now, and it adds water to the system. So we'll just, that might be part of the problem. You can't put a rock on there and have it move this. Alright, well, that'll do for now. Okay, so the water keeps on getting sucked low. I hear it running, so it thinks it's okay. It's going to pump some water. Plus, it is also trying to fill right now the reservoir. So if it's lost a little bit of water due to splashing, it's just going to automatically kind of top that up as it goes throughout the day. And right now I have the backup pump set to run on a timer. Can't really figure out a better way to run that right now. But yeah, that's my backyard water fountain. It will eventually be hidden inside of, the guts are going to be hidden inside of this container, and then that panel will be mounted up there, and that's going to go in the corner. That'll be kind of my utility area, and then I'll box it in with some chairs or tables or whatever it's going to take. I guess you can see right now as well, since it's tried to refill, the red light for the backup tank high is no longer on. So this will also tell me if I come outside and it's in between waterings that I'm losing water in the day. But if it waters at night, it'll just refill it, and then I'll have no idea that that's actually what's happened. But yeah, so we turn this to manual mode. All right. So the sprinkler is going to turn on any second. There we go. It's on. And there is flow proof, so the red light goes on, and then the yellow light for its filling. And that reservoir is almost full. A little bit of squirt out the top when it's full. There we go. Okay, it's full. Now you be done. It still indicates that there's flow in the line. That kind of tells me that the garden is watering itself anyway. But if I come out and this orange light is on later, then I know that it hasn't had to try and refill this system, and I'm not losing water. But if I am losing water, it should automatically fill up. I think this is going to be good in the summertime. I may have also told you about the stainless steel vessels that I have that the tops were cut off of, and it's got this, it had anthracite inside of it, so it's got a very fine mesh so the water can drain but the particles don't come out. As you can see, water has been going in and is coming out as well, and going in the form of rain and coming out the bottom here, so I know that there's good drainage here. And yeah, I got 4 of those. Oh, there's my little sprinkler system running away. And yeah, and that's going to be my soon-to-be backyard oasis. As you can see, I don't see any of my neighbors. And I got a nice collection of ferns over here in the corner, too. And some decorative grass. It's fall time, so it doesn't really look that great right now, but yeah, that's my house, that's my backyard, and that's my soon-to-be working water fountain. Next year, lights to be continued.